Alright, start transmission. Let's get it going. Swap quick. Fun for watching later. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and hop in here. Sure, we can turn this all the way down. Okay, it is good.
Okay, I think we are just about ready to get started. Let's go and open that up. It's actually, here, let's go over here. There we are. Hello. Let's, okay, let's take the chat box. We're actually going to move the chat box down here. Shrink it down just a little bit. So I noticed in the last video that I made that had chat on it, it was a little bit in the way, and I wasn't a big fan of that. So let's see here. All right, down there in the corner looks like it should do just fine. All right, let's see here. All right, I think we are just about good to go. Cool. All right. Doot, doot, doot. Okay, let's go and hop on over here. All right, we're in game. All right, so first deck we're going to be playing tonight is what you're seeing right here. I've got And I've got more than enough wild cards to basically build every deck in Standard at the moment, like all the popular ones at least. So I've taken it upon myself to build all the popular meta decks so I can properly tour the meta and see exactly what is being played and try and pilot them to the best of my ability. And so today we're going to be starting with Selesnya Enchant, then moving into Rakdos, and I think we'll be finishing tonight with some footage of soldiers. So that is basically what's on the menu for tonight. So give me just a moment, I'm going to hit the old record button, and we're going to get this started. So let's see here. Here we are. Alright, now if you don't mind, just a moment, I'm going to have to slip into creator mode. Mentally, of course. Hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are continuing our tour of the meta, and we're starting today with Selesnya Enchantments. This is a deck that has gotten quite a bit more popular with the last expansion of Aftermath, and specifically because of one card, and this is the guy right here, Calyx, Guided by Fate. He slots right into this deck perfectly just because of his, well, one, the fact that he is an enchantment himself, and two, that he buffs not only himself but also creates copies. So let's read this real quick so we know exactly what we're looking at here. So for 3 mana, you get a legendary enchantment human druid. It's 2/2. He has Constellation. His Constellation ability triggers whenever Calyx, Guided by Fate, or another enchantment enters the battlefield under your control. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Whenever Calyx or an enchanted creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you may create a token that's a copy of a non-legendary enchantment you control. Do this only once each turn. Now, the important thing to look at this card for is it says whenever Calyx or an enchanted creature. That doesn't mean an enchantment creature, it means an enchanted creature. So that means that it would have to have Audacity on it, or some other form of an enchantment. So it could be Audacity, or it could be, say, like a Spirit enchantment from the graveyard, something along those lines. So whenever Calyx or a creature that meets that requirement hits, then it's going to hit and create a copy of another non-legendary creature. So, pretty strong. So, but the rest of the deck is pretty standard as far as enchantment decks go. I believe the only other new-ish card is probably Audacity, but that came out in Brothers War, so it's not that new. So, but we'll go ahead and take a look at all of the cards in here so we can familiarize ourselves with this deck before we start piloting it. So we start with 3 Audacity. It gives the creature +2/+0 and trample, and whenever Audacity goes to a graveyard, it draws you a card. So it replaces itself. It's pretty awesome. We have Generous Visitor, gets +1/+1 whenever you cast an enchantment. We have Michiko's Reign of Truth, which is fantastic for pumping a creature for a big alpha strike. 2 Ossification, great removal. We have 4 Spirited Companion. It's a 1/1 enchantment creature. It comes down early and replaces itself. It's good. Economy of Transience is a very sticky creature. Whenever another enchantment goes to your graveyard, and this is in your graveyard, it comes back to your hand at end of turn, and gets +1/+1 counters when you cast enchantments, so that's good too. Here's a very interesting inclusion that I had not thought about, at least not for this deck. It's Roaring Earth. It's a landfall enchantment. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature or vehicle you control. And it has a channel effect of X green, discard Roaring Earth, put X +1/+1 counters on target land you control, it becomes a 0/0 green spirit creature with haste. It's still a land. So you can animate a land and just go to town. Then we have Weaver of Harmony. Other enchantment creatures you control get +1/+1. And it has an activated ability of green, tap, copy target activated or triggered ability you control from an enchantment source. You may choose new targets for the copy. So you can use this to copy Spirited Companion's Draw. You can use it to copy Calyx's ability. You can use it to copy any of like the +1/+1 counter abilities, or say like Hallowed Haunting, Michiko's Reign of Truth. Like all of those effects can be effectively copied. with the this activated ability right here. We have Jukai Naturalist. Obviously, you're going to have a 4 of this. I mean, it's 2/2 lifelink. It can be a recipient for your +1/+1 encounters, and it cheapens the rest of your deck by 1 colorless mana. So, obviously, that's a 4 of. Invasion of Theros is very interesting. It's one of the newer cards. It says, when an Invasion of Theros enters the battlefield, search your library for an Aura, God, or Demigod card. Reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. So, this is going to be an Aura. So, what it's going to get for you is it's going to get Audacity for you, pretty much. Is this a Saga? Okay, that's an Aura, so it can get you Ossification as well. And aside from that, I believe that might be the only other card, because I don't think Seal from Existence is an Aura itself. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's going to be it. What's the back side of this, though, is the question. Can I see it? It's not going to show me here. I'm sure I'll see it later, though. Seal from Existence, this is getting a lot of steam because of the word 3 on it. Having word 3 on this makes this very difficult to remove, aside from board wipes like Farewell. Aside from that, we have a Fight Rigging. Fight Rigging is honestly one card that I have not seen in these decks at all. But judging by how tall this deck can go sometimes, this could honestly really get there. I mean, it's not going to be pulling out anything like crazy for you, because everything in this deck is like 3 mana or below, with the exception of Hallowed Haunting, but it being in here to act as an enchantment trigger and also just give +1/+1 counters places, I mean, that's pretty much the job that it's going to be doing for you with this deck. And there's the Calyxes, and Hallowed Haunting is a staple of this deck, of course. It says, as long as you control 7 or more enchantments, creatures you control have flying and vigilance. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, create a white spirit cleric creature token with this creature's power and toughness are each equal to the number of spirits you control. So, pretty good. So, pretty good for the deck. Mana base is pretty straightforward. You got 1 Iganjo, 1 Boseiju, some basic lands, 4 Botanical Plaza. I'm surprised at the inclusion of this one. I imagine you're going to be basically just using this to play it early and then sacrifice late game to get a little bit extra draw. We have Brushland and we have Overgrown Farmland. So, yeah, that's pretty much the deck. So, this looks very, very straightforward. I mean, it has a few pieces of removal, but the majority of the deck is going to be just putting guys down on the table, making them huge, and trying to overrun your opponent with just big enchantments. So let's take it out onto the standard ladder and see how it does. Find match. Selesnya enchantments go into standard ranked. This is the first time I've hopped onto play since the ladder reset happened, I think, yesterday or the day before. So we made it to Diamond last month, so this month we are stuck into Gold. So we're going to play our way through Gold and hopefully land ourselves in at least Platinum today. Okay, so we start with 2 planes, an Ossification, Jukai, Kami. Okay, so everything in my hand except for Ossification requires green. So we're going to have to mulligan this. Okay, that's a little bit better. 3 lands, Spirit Companion, Audacity, Generous Visitor, and Kami Transients. So I think we can ditch one of our lands here. I think we'll throw away the Brushland. We'll keep 6. We'll send the Brushland back. Done. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and play the Generous Visitor first. See here, so we're up against red-green. Reinforced Ronin. That is going to come right on in. I'm not going to block that, because I really want to play Audacity on my Generous Visitor. No blocks. Pops back up. Okay, sweet. So we drew another land, so we don't have to play the Overgrown Farmland yet. So, in that case, that kind of changes things a little bit. So what we'll do is we'll play Spirit Companion instead. So we still get a +1 counter on Generous Visitor. Draw a card, and attack. So that means next turn, we can play Calming Transients into Audacity. Alright. That's probably the best thing you could have done that turn, honestly. Ooh, okay. So let's see here. So this is going to make enchantment spells I cast cost 1 less. So that's going to go to 2. That's already at 1. I think I just want to play this, actually. Okay, we'll play that, and we'll play Audacity, targeting the Spirited Companion. Kami's going to get a +1, so now both my guys at Trample. Okay, good, he didn't have a missed land drop, that's good. Alright, Lightning Strike on the Calming Transients. So if any of my other enchantments go to the graveyard, I will get Kami back next turn. Oh, what are you going to do with that 1 red mana? Maybe play the Ronin again? Yeah, he's going to play the Ronin again. So we're going to take 2 right now. No big deal. Okay, so we've held Haunting, so we are going to actually play out the Jukai Naturalist this turn. And just attack again. Let's see if he has another Lightning Blast for my Naturalist. Thunny Raichu, okay. Alright, that's going to come in. I'm not going to block it, because I can just gain 2 of that life back with the backswing. Okay, so let's play this. We're going to go with the Boseiju as a land. We're going to cast Invasion of Theros. And that's going to give me an Ossification, which we will then cast, target that basic land, to get rid of the Thundering Raichu. How you like that? That's pretty dope. Okay, let's attack that. And that's going to come back as a Fara. A Fara Ever Sheltering has lifelink and indestructible as long as you control at least 3 other enchantments. Whenever another enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. Pretty solid. She comes in, and she's already active because all of my other permanents on the board are enchantments. I like that. That's a damn good battle. Alright. Okay, so it's going to come in. This has indestructible, my guy. Are you sure you want to do that? You probably didn't realize what happened. Alright, play Howled Haunting. Draw a card. Play the land. Play the Generous Visitor. Probably should have did that in the opposite order, but that's okay. He concedes anyways. Okay, alright, so that's the first game in the bag. You know what? I did have fun that game. Alright, let's move on to our next match. So far, we've got 1 game against a Gruul, kind of mid-rangey deck. Not exactly something I would expect to come across in the meta. But I am in gold, so you're going to see a little bit more wide-ranging decks here in gold. Okay, so I don't have any white mana, and my hand is mostly white, so we have to mulligan this. Okay, white, white, green. That's better. Yeah, we'll keep this, and we're going to send back one of our planes. We'll start with Boseiju. Okay, we'll play the Boseiju first. We'll play the Generous Visitor. I like that this deck is like really low to the ground. Like everything in the deck is like 1 through 3 mana. Okay. Does not like the Generous Visitor. So that goes bye-bye. Alright. We play the Jukai. And we'll see if he removes that as well. He probably will. I mean, I would. Yeah, he's going to ossify it. Okay. Ossification happens. Exile target now and permanent button controls until seal up. I could seal off his ossify. That could be really funny. But I will actually have to wait a turn for that, though. So play that. Draw a land. Hopefully it's a forest. It is not, but a land is a land is a land. So we'll take it. Alright, so you didn't play anything that turn, but we do have a green mana, so we'll use that to cast Spirit Companion, or Audacity on Spirit Companion. Next, I'll attack. He's going to cast Wandering Emperor, as you do. Okay, so he's going to create a guy, and let it go through. You silly Billy. I would not have done that if I were you. Let's put that away. Ooh, honestly, I probably should have used the ossification on that instead. Oh well, live and learn, right? Alright, that goes away, we draw a card. Ow. Okay, Seal from Existence. We got another one. Let's see, what do we have over here? We got a Spirited Companion over there. We also have a Jukai Naturalist right there. You know what? I'm really not too worried about it right now. So we're going to cast that. We're going to put an Audacity on him. And we'll end the turn. So I don't really want to waste my ossification on a token. Okay. Alright, well let's put another ossification right here. Or Audacity, I mean. In the hopes that he wants to play another, another you-know-who. Ah, there she is. Oh, very smart. Okay, so we got a land and a Hallowed Haunting. So let's play that. We'll play Hallowed Haunting. And now if you try to remove my Hallowed Haunting, I have a seal to bring it back. Okay, +1/+1 counter. Alright, good job. Alright, let's go and play this land. Let's see here. So this triggers whenever I play an enchantment, right? Okay, so let's start with ossification. Target this basic land. Okay, he's going to thirst to try and find an answer, but he spent all his blue mana, so he doesn't have an answer. Okay, so that triggers. We're going to get rid of... let's get rid of that. I'm going to suck that guy up. We'll play this. Get rid of that. So even if he destroys my enchantments, he does not get his token back. Monastery Mentor, okay. Oh, he's gonna ossify me. Alright, that's gone. Ooh, not good. We drew a land. And honestly, it's not game yet, but it's not looking good for me. Monastery Mentor is such a good card. Okay, yeah, I think that's gonna be game. This deck can't catch up from that. Not without like significant draw. This version of this deck is just like very dependent on your opponent not messing around with your stuff. An ideal opponent for this deck is a deck that doesn't interact with you too much. Okay, so we got 3 lands. 2 of which come into play tapped no matter what. We got Machuka's Reign of Truth, Seal from Existence, Audacity, and Generous Visitor. You know what, we'll keep it. Alright. It's a bit of a slow open, but we'll see what happens. Alright, let's play that. Play Generous Visitor. What is that? Oh, okay, it's, you-know-who. Alright, let's go and play a land. Let's play Audacity. And we will not attack, because that's silly. We do not attack into a Mina Harker. Yeah, no blocks, honey. That's just not going to happen. Alright, let's play the Overgrown. And we'll play a Seal from Existence. Target there. That's our target. Oh, I know, I fucked up. I should have targeted the Skrull. That's fine. I'm dumb. I've even played with Skrull. I should have understood that. Okay. Next game. That's 100% my dumbass right there. Live and learn. Live and learn. Okay. So move on to the next match. Hey, that's why we're playing these Tour of the Meta decks, so we can learn their strengths and their weaknesses at the same time. Alright, so we got 2 lands. One of them is going to come into play tap no matter what. And the rest of the deck is 1s and 2s. Let's go ahead and keep it. Alright, we'll take out Plaza comes in first. We'll probably play the Spirited Companion first. There we go. Draw a card. Hopefully it's a land. It is. Hell yeah. Alright. Let's go ahead and play a land. And let's take a look at our ordering. Yeah, we'll play the Generous Visitor first. And we'll play the Michiko's Reign of Truth second. Plus one counter there. As well as giving that +1/+1 until end of turn. Okay, that's fine. It still gets the buff. Wedding announcement. Okay. Sounds good to me. Alright, so we will play Weaver of Harmony. The +1/+1 counter will go here this time. I'll attack. Boom, boom. So let's see here. If we get another green, we could seal 2 things off. But we did not get it. So, in that case, we're going to give this +2 and another +1 right there. And we will attack with those 2, leaving the Weaver of Harmony behind. I'm going to block with 2. Okay, so block with 2 creatures. It goes down to 8. So far, so good, right? Elspeth Resplendent. Alright, what are you going to do, honey? So look at some cards and bring it into play. It's fine. I'll just seal from existence whatever you play. Oh, it's a land. Well, that was dumb. Alright, let's play that. We'll play... Actually, we'll play Audacity first. Target here. Target here. Seal. Target here. Hit him with a good game. Yeah, he knows what's happening. He knows what's coming. And it's over. Alright, not bad, not bad. Alright, let's go for another game, see what happens. Zero 41064. You sure there's no bots in this game? Okay, so we got 3 lands. Invasion of Theros, Generous Visitor, Kami Kami. No enchantments to start with. Interesting. We'll see what we draw into, though. Alright, start here. Play the Generous Visitor. We got the synergy cards, but not the enchantments. Alright, draws a Skrelv. Okay, that's better. We'll play this. We'll play Jukai, autopay. Plus one there. I'll attack. Bam. That was a very, very nice top deck. I'm glad we got that. Aw, man. Yeah, he's out of there. Not a big deal. Totally fine. Let's see here. Let's play Invasion of Theros. And we'll use that to go get an Ossification. And we'll attack that. Bink. So we're up against an Esper Legends, Esper Control style deck. At least that's what it looks like. Alright, just gonna go for the throat. Got it. Alright, let's go and play another land. And we are going to go against their better judgment and go with the Ossification first. Oh, target basic land. Because I don't want this to get countered. I'm more okay with the Kami of Transience getting countered. Yeah, we'll pay it. Get the fuck out. Okay. Gain a life. Plays a Rafine. I'll play Calyx. Plus one there. Okay, so he can attack this turn, or he can keep that up for defense. So let's see what he does. He's only got one card left in hand. Okay, he wants to keep the defense up. So let's see here. Let's go ahead and go with another Invasion of Theros. Okay, so he did not hold up time, so that tells me he does not have a counter spell in hand. He might have a kill spell in hand, though. Attack here. Actually, cancel attack. Attack here. Better chance of that getting through and killing the battle. Alright, cool, we got it. Alright, comes back. We got a Farah. Plus one there. Very nice. I like this. I like this a lot. Okay, that's fine. No stress. I'm going to draw a card. Alright. Looks like somebody's out of options. Sure. Alright, we'll play that. And then we will play Hallowed Haunting. While you can't counter it. And then we'll start loading up next turn. Alright. Okay, we take two. Alright, so let's see here. We play Kami. Then we play Seal from Existence. Okay, all my triggers go off. Nice. Put on the Gold Forged Thoptrix. And we pass the turn. So you are effectively in top deck mode, so let's see what you do. Okay, just gonna draw a card from the Skybridge Towers. Rona, the Herald. I love that card. That's such a good card. And Talia. Alright. You have a defensive. Let's see if it's enough. I mean, drawing Talia this late in the game is not really the best. Alright. I'm gonna send both of them at it. See how they react. Okay. I'm gonna go like that. Alright, we get another Ifara. Because it's an enchantment, those enchantment triggers go off again. And we're going to hold those other commies in hand, just in case they decide to do something stupid. Like wipe my board off the top deck. Okay, so transforms. Let's see here. Whenever a source deals damage to Rona, Tolarian Obliterator, that source's controller exiles a card from their hand at random. If it's a land card, you may put it onto the battlefield under your control. Otherwise, you may cast it without paying its mana cost. Okay, that's no big deal. Alright. Give the +1 to Mr. Trample. Next. Attack. Don't mute him. We just want to attack. We'll attack with that, and that. We're coming in, champ. That's the wrong thing to block. You want it? I'll play one too. End turn. So I believe I can just sacrifice this and turn because I have enough mana for it. Coming in, champ. He probably realizes he has no chance of winning now. Okay, we'll draw a card. Alright, we got a Weaver and an Ossification. Alright, Michiko comes back. We draw a card because the enchantment comes in. Let's go and play Fight Rigging because this is hilarious. Oh my god. This is the dumbest shit I've ever seen. Alright, let's go and put that under it. Yeah, just concede now because I'm just going to keep fighting sick. Yeah, yes, that's going to be it. Alright. Not bad. Not bad considering we came back from a board wipe and a little bit of interaction, but the creatures that they played wasn't quite enough to keep up with what we were doing. Alright, let's go in again. Not bad, not bad. Okay, down, girl. Down. Thank you. Okay, so we got two lands. Botanical Plaza and Overgrown Farmland. We have Seal from Existence, Hallowed Haunting, Audacity, Kami, and Weaver of Harmony. So we have things that we can play, and we can just hope that we draw extra land. So it's not the most explosive open, but we'll see if it can work. Alright, let's go ahead and play the Farmland first. Alright, we'll play the Botanical Plaza. Alright, we got a Talia. I've seen a lot of Talia play this week. Alright, let's go ahead and play the Kami of Transience first. Let's see what you do. Is this a mono-white deck? Maybe mono-white soldiers or something along those lines? Alright, we got the Brutal Cathar. Okay, so we got another land here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to cast Seal from Existence. Targeting that. We're going to get our boy back. Do you have another Brutal Cathar? No, they have an Adeline. Block there. What do you have for me? You have the Gonjo, okay. Not good. Next game, please. Pretty good open from you, but I don't really have a follow-up. There's no more creatures in my hand. I'm already beginning to see the cracks in this deck. It's like if you just don't get like the nuts and you run into a deck that has decent enough removal, you kind of fall flat. Okay. 3 lands, Spirit of Companion, Audacity, and Naturalist. We'll keep it. We'll play the Overgrown Farmland first. Okay. So, Farmland first, so we can play the Spirit of Companion on 2. Okay, so we're playing against, what is it? 4-color ramp here. So we need to come out as quickly as we can. So let's play the Jukai Naturalist first. Ossification. Not surprising. Alright, let's go and play a Plains, play a Generous Visitor, into Spirit of Companion. Draw a card. Okay, so we have Michiko's for next turn. Topiary Stomper. Yep, I knew exactly what we were playing against. I knew it even before they did. Let's see here. So we're going to play a Forest, and we'll play Audacity here. Target here as well. Play Invasion of Theros. We'll go get an ossification of our own. And attack here. So even if they block, Trample still gets the guy for us. Alright, +1/+1 counter there. Welcome to the table. You're kidding me. You didn't have a follow-up? Honestly, I was fully expecting to lose that game. Yeah. Thank you. I was fully expecting to lose that game. Alright. Nerdstrom versus Bradhum. Okay, so we got 2 lands. They both come into play untapped. So we have 2 Invasion Theros, a Hallowed Haunting, Audacity, and Generous Visitor. We'll keep it and see how far it goes. Alright, playing against Orzhov right now. So go and play the Generous Visitor. We'll auto pay for it. Take a damage. Alright. Play the Iganja. And play Spirit of Companion. +1 counter right there. Draw a card. It was a land. Thank God. Bam. So I was really banking on getting that 3rd land for Calyx. Alright. Play the Overgrown. Play a Calyx. +1/+1 there. Alright. Calyx is going to come in. Okay, so he spent his mana. That's perfect. We're going to go and put that other +1/+1 counter right there, and we're going to attack. Okay, you missed a land drop. That's perfect for me. So let's go ahead and play Generous Visitor. And we'll play Spirit of Companion right there, auto pay. +1/+1 counter there. +1/+1 counter there. All attack. Bam, bam. Alright, Calyx's ability, create a token that is a copy of a non-legendary creature. We will target the Spirit of Companion. It comes in, draws a card, gets another +1 counter right there. And that's all she wrote. That was the fastest game yet. Oh my god. Oh, that was good. That was really good. Nice. Nice work. That might end up being a clip later. Alright, we'll do one more game for this recording session. That's kind of the way it goes, though. It's like either you peter out, or you just, boom, just knock them out. Alright, 3 lands, 2 invasions, Audacity, and a Jukai Naturalist. I don't like it. That's better. Okay, we'll keep this and we'll send the Howled Haunting back. Keep 6, send that back. I think we'll play the Forest first. Okay, they mulliganed 1 as well, so that's pretty good for me. Alright, play the Brushland over here, making them think that we just drew our only other land. Draw a card. Another good boy. Okay, so he doesn't have anything else to play, so let's play that, play Calyx. Auto pay. Choose to put the counter there and wait for a removal spell. Okay, that's fine. Bam. There's land. Oh, and it comes in tap. That's not good for you. Alright, let's go Brushland. Let's go Jukai Naturalist. Pay for it. Play another Spirit Companion. Sure. We take the 2. That goes away. We play that. Draws another card. Unfortunately, not Audacity, so we hit him for 4, or 2. Invasion is Zendikar. Okay, so it's another 4 color control deck. Or 4 color ramp deck, I mean. Alright, gets the land. Let's go and play that. We'll play Jukai Naturalist again. Into Spirit Companion. Pay for it. Draw a card. So no Seal from Existence. Not good for me right now. Alright. Here comes the Sunfall. Oh, Vorinclex, okay. I was not expecting Vorinclex. That's fine, we'll seal it away this next turn. Okay. So let's start with playing Michiko's Reign of Truth. Putting it here. Oh, I should have cast this first. I'm dumb. No big deal, though. Oh, no big deal anyways. It was lethal. So even though I technically made a ordering mistake, it still won, because this deck is pretty powerful. Alright, down girl. Chill out. Okay. Play that. Alright, you guys want to go side? Good. Timby, you want to go side? You're worried, aren't you? That's fine. I'll take you out in a moment. Okay, so we finished that, so now we are going to go into the deck, and we're going to look at the post-game wrap and talk about our thoughts of the deck. Let's bring this up. Okay, here we are for the post-game wrap, and I have some thoughts regarding this deck. This deck, its most glaring flaw is the fact that if you don't get the turbo nuts, like, open in hand, it can peter up pretty hard, especially if your opponent is playing a decent amount of removal. I've had a few games today where I just decided to concede the game and move on to the next match because my opponent had good removal and I didn't have a good follow-up for it. So, let's talk about what works and what doesn't. Audacity, fantastic. Love this card. The fact that you draw cards off of it going to the graveyard is probably its biggest strength. Really, really good. Generous Visitor, staple of the deck, needs to be in here. Michiko, good. Ossification, great. Spirit Companion, pretty much needs to be a 4 of. You need card draw to keep the cards flowing in this deck. Kami Transience, excellent card. Honestly, didn't play it a whole lot this day, I mean. So, but the times that I did play it, it did turn out being pretty good. Roaring Earth, I actually did not play this card a single time, but I think it's because of the fact that it's only a single copy, so chances of it coming up were very slim. Weave of Harmony, really, really good card. Like, for a Lord of this type, really, really solid. Jukai Naturalist, this card has a lightning rod on his head, and for good reason. This card just, like, enables the rest of the deck to go turbo mode. Invasion of Theros, I was pleasantly surprised by this card. This card is actually like really, really solid. Just the fact that it digs up your Audacity and your Ossification, and on the backside gives you a 4/4 lifelink indestructible in most situations is really solid. Seal from Existence is probably one of the better removal spells this deck can be playing, just because of the word 3. The word 3 on that is always relevant. Fight Rigging, I don't think really needs to be in this deck. I mean, it is a good way to get more +1/+1 counters on your creatures, and it is an enchantment, so it does have all the enchantment synergies, but I think this card could probably be a 4th Audacity. I would probably drop this for a 4th Audacity. Calyx, I might actually bump this up to a 3 of. Calyx is really, really strong. And because he has such a target on his head, you're likely going to be casting it 2 or 3 times a match anyways. So, might as well bump that up to a 3 of. Howl of Hunting, I think, is perfect at 2. So this is not a card that you need to win the game, but it is a solid boon once you get the ball rolling on this guy. Really, really solid card. As far as the mana base goes, I would probably drop the Botanical Plaza down to a 2 of and increase the Overgrown Farmlands to a 4 of. Just because of the fact that this, no matter what, will come into play tapped. Whereas the Overgrown Farmland has the secondary clause of coming into play untapped if you have 2 or more other lands. So that's probably the change I would make to the mana base. Maybe drop a Plains for a second Igonjo, because having Igonjo removal is really, really strong. Aside from that, the deck operates pretty solid. I mean, so long as you get the like that opening curve of 1 into 2 into 3, or like you get like the Generous Visitor into Jukai Naturalist, or into Audacity, or into Spirit of Companion, you get that ball rolling early, you get it snowballing fast. That's what's going to make this deck win for you. But if you don't get that ball rolling quick enough, this deck can peter out really, really badly. And because of that, I personally think that Mono Red Aggro is the superior aggro deck in the format. So, there you go. That's my thoughts on the deck. If you agree, if you disagree, let me know about it. I'm very interested to hear what you have to say as well. So, yeah, that's Selesnya Enchantment aggro. So, yeah, that's it. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Later. Alright. Okay. I am going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we are going to be starting. Let's get back into the game here. When we get back, we are going to do a round of Rakdos Midrange. And this is a deck that is a little bit more up my alley. Just saying. Okay, so yeah. I'll catch you in a few minutes. Oh, okay. Let's do the boys. Boys, go inside. Tell you want dinner? Yeah, you do. You know what food means. Come on, big guy. Come on, big guy. dogs are fed, we can start our next deck tech. Dun, 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 dun. Alright, let's take a look here. So let's go ahead and go back over to the recordings. Right here. Let's see. I need to stay organized. We're going to put our recording in. Where's that? There it is. I'll pop that in there. Okay. So next deck is going to be the Rakdos Midrange. This is it right here. Alright. Okay, we're going to start the recording right now. Gotta get into the mode. Alright. Hello, how you doing? So we are continuing our tour of the meta today. And today's deck is Rakdos Midrange. Now, if you look at the deck right here, you see that it is very, very similar to the mono black midrange that is on the meta already. Honestly, the only red that this deck brings in is Bloodtithe Harvester and Brotherhood's End. And honestly, I think that's pretty solid. I mean, because the Bloodtithe Harvester is like, it's just a massively great 2-drop. But the Brotherhood's End is something that really shores up your game against widespread strategies, especially if you're not like coming out of the gates the fastest. If you're up against like soldiers or mono red aggro or anything that kind of like gets the jump on you in the first 2 turns, I mean, this card alone just gets you right back into the game. And only 3 mana, you can use this and follow up with like a Liliana the Veil to regain board control. But let's take a closer look at the entire deck. Let's see what we have here. So we are starting with 4 copies of Cut Down. Easily one of the best removal spells in the standard format right now. So 4 of is, I'm not going to scoff at that. Past that, we have 4 copies of Go for the Throat, another very solid removal spell. I personally prefer Infernal Grasp, but that 2-life tax on Infernal Grasp is not the best when mono red is so prevalent right now. Past that, we have Sheoldred's Edict, really, really good card. We have 2 copies of Tenacious Underdog. Only 2 copies, I'm surprised. I personally probably do like a 3 of 3 split with 3 Tenacious Underdog and 3 Bloodtithe Harvester, but that's just me. Past that, we have Graveyard Trespasser, really, really solid 3-drop. 2 Liliana the Veil, 2 Phyrexian Arena, and 2 Brotherhood's End. That's your 3-drops. In the 4 slot, we have 4 copies of Sheoldred the Apocalypse, because if we're playing black, we're playing Sheoldred. That's just the way it goes. And then in the 5-drops, we have 2 copies of the new Sheoldred. And past that, we have, how many copies? 2 copies of Vraska Betrayal's Sting, and 3 copies of Phyrexian Fleshgorger. So, all in all, is very, very alike the mono black deck that we played last week. For the mana base, we have 7 Swamps, a Takanuma, a couple Mountains, a Sokenzan, big fan of that card, 4 Black Cleave Cliffs, 4 Haunted Ridge, 4 Sulphurous Springs, and 2 Mirrex. Every day that I see a Mirrex in a deck, it makes me more and more a fan of that card in general. It's like it's great for control decks, and it's even good for mid-range decks that need to get back into the game after a board wipe. It's just being able to make more dudes every turn, even if your theme for the deck isn't toxic, it's still good being able to continuously put pressure on the board. So, big fan of the Mirrex here. So, that is the deck that we're going to be taking into ladder today. So let's see how well it does. So let's go and hop in right now. Well, that was quick. Alright, Rakdos Sakdos, let's see how it do. Okay, so we have 3 lands, all good lands. We have a Cut Down, a Bloodtithe, a Tenacious, and a Vraska. probably play the Blood Tithe Harvester first. Pretty decent hand, honestly. Alright, go ahead and keep it. Play the Black Cleave Cliffs first. Just in case we draw another fast land on the next turn. We want to be able to play them all before they start coming into play tapped. Okay, I'm just going to cast Duress, and he's going to get my Vraska's Betrayal Sting out of my hand. Just as predicted. Alright, go and play that. Okay, so we're up against another Rakdos deck. This is interesting. Let's go and play that, and play a Blood Tithe Harvester. And watch it get cut down. Oh, no cut down, okay. Okay, we're actually up against Grixis. Okay, let's go and play a Sulphur Springs, and we will attack. Alright, play the Tenacious Underdog. And end turn. Okay, plays Go for the Throat. So that he can freely attack in and get my Tenacious Underdog out of the graveyard. Very smart move. Resolve. I would have done the same thing. Alright, my turn. Looks like he missed a land drop there. Not good for him. So let's go and play that. We'll attack for 3. And we'll start getting stuff out of his graveyard. He plays the Selesnya. He is hard up for mana right now. Alright, my turn. Okay, we are land rich right now, and it's not good. So we're going to channel the Sokenzon, get 2 more boys, and we will attack in. Oh, okay. So he blocks one of the spirits instead. I probably would have blocked the Graveyard Trespasser myself. What's that? Galvanic Iteration, huh? Okay. So he wants to copy some spells. Resolve. No life transfer for that move. Alright, my turn. Next, I'll attack. Go to the Galvanic Iteration. This is a no graveyard having game. March of Wretched Sorrow. Okay, I'm into it. Resolve. Okay, discards that. Spell resolves. Okay, next, get beat in, and we play Liliana. I'll make you sacrifice a creature. Sulphur Springs. End turn. Maybe I should have kept that back to sacrifice the blood token too. Let's go +1, discard a card. Okay. Resolve. Draws 2 cards and discards 1 of them. I'll discard Cut Down. Cut Down doesn't have a whole lot of targets in your deck. you try to cut down too. I like it. Alright, next. I'll attack. And turn. Alright, what you got for me, champ? Chandra! Alright. Deals 2 damage to 2 targets. Okay. Alright, let's go ahead and Takanuma. Oh, that's perfect. Yeah, we'll get Sheldred. My turn. I'll just stack face. Put you on a 2-turn clock. Okay, draws a removal spell. Sacrifice a non-token creature. You got it. Each will sacrifice a non-token creature. Resolve. Okay. He is clinging for life right now. Yes. Alright, we will activate, discard Cut Down to draw something more relevant, hopefully. Grab the Throat is not that relevant, but this is. Hopefully didn't just draw a mass removal spell. He's gonna try to get one though. Oh, interesting. Oh, that's gonna suck for me. Let's see what he does. It's depending on what he gets out. Yeah, he's gonna take my Tenacious Underdog. Yeah, that might be game. Okay, so I take both my Sheldreds and Liliana. Alright, sacrifice a creature. Pass.
Off you go. No more distractions. Let's make this quick. One of your friends has to leave.
Now if he's smart, he's going to attack with Graveyard Trespasser. Okay. He's got it. We're up. Not bad. Chandra into Chandra is pretty strong. Let's try again. See what we run into. That new Chandra is really, really powerful. I like it a lot. Might have to make a deck with her. Maybe an Explorer deck. There's some good spells in Explorer. Okay, so we got Haunted Ridge, Swamp, and Takanuma. So we got 3 lands. And pretty decent hand. So we'll keep it and see what happens. Alright, so Haunted Ridge, Swamp, Takanuma. We're not playing anything turn 1, so let's just drop that. Drop that right there. Okay, so I see an island, and that makes me nervous. Okay, so it's blue-white. It's not mono-blue, so it's not that bad. I don't want to play into a counter spell, so we're gonna hold. Yeah. We'll play this. Okay. Cool. And didn't have anything held up in the meantime for that card either. That is pretty cool island with the Godzilla in the background. Alright, cool. So he's tapping out to play that. He could potentially have a, what is it? He could potentially have a Spell Pierce, so, but we're at 5 mana, so we can kind of get around it. So let's attack first. See what he does. Okay, so he's going to block it, so I don't need to worry about making him sacrifice a creature. So in the meantime, we'll go ahead and just play Phyrexian Arena right now and start getting the value train rolling. Crystal Grotto, scry for 1. Another wedding announcement. Okay. Resolve, resolve, resolve. Right here. Draw a card, lose a life. Okay. Ooh, that's a good card to draw. Let's see here. Let's go ahead. Let's see here. Okay, Sheldred will make them sacrifice a non-token creature. We'll attack again. Alright, and block with 1. Liliana. Okay, they cast negate. Enter. Alright, they got the Ganjo. Pass. 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 Resolve. Resolve. Alright, we'll end the turn by killing one of your dudes. Ooh. It's nighttime now. Alright, we'll draw some cards. Next. We'll all attack. Get rid of that. Do I have any creatures in my graveyard? No. Okay, comes in with the Wonder Emperor. Resolve. Okay. Resolve that. Okay, discards a card. It goes away. And that's okay, because that gives me a reason to cast this. Ooh, actually, let's just play Sheldred. I'll get rid of your Planeswalker. He only has 2 cards in graveyard though, so we can't activate her just yet. Alright, you just passed the whole turn. Go into it. Let's use the Mirax. And we're going to cast Brotherhood's End to deal 3 to each creature in Planeswalker. You're holding up your entire hand over there, but you only have 2 cards in hand. That could possibly be another of those, so let's test the waters. Cool. He does not have an Emperor in hand. So now he uses Memory Deluge. He's gonna hope to get some kind of like removal spell for my Sheldred. And I'm gonna keep mana open to utilize my Mirax at the end of turn. Dependent on what he plays this turn. Chrome Host Sea Shark. Okay, resolve. Yeah, get that the hell out of here. Okay, and I can still draw a card. Activate. Ooh, we got a Lily. Alright, draw a card. I think we're just going to cast this Lily right now. Oh, we got a Sheldred too. Alright, let's play another Swamp. Let's play Lily. See what they do. If they have any kind of counterspell or anything for it. They do not. Let's go +1. Each player discards a card. I will discard a mountain. discards Takanuma or Adawara. So let's go ahead and cast one of these. See what that last card in your hand is. Not a make disappear. The draw card. Memory Deluge. He's gonna hope to get a Wandering Emperor. But I am going to call the bluff. Yep, there it is. I'm fine with that. I just need to make sure that my Liliana stayed on the table. Draw a card. Draw a card. Alright. Sacrifice a creature. Next, end turn. We have enough mana available to utilize the Mercs at end of turn as well. Shieldred is so stupid good. It's ridiculous. Alright, he makes a token. Oh, you want to cast Sunfall, huh? Okay. Resolve. Alright, make a guy. Draw a card, was alive. Draw a card. Okay, let's go and... He has no cards in hand, so we are going to next. I'll attack that. Wait for him to activate. Does not activate. Alright. Let's go and play swap. Plus one, just play discards a card. I will discard that mountain. And play another Sheldred. And end turn. Transform. Because of course you do. Alright, lose more life.
Show them how we greet our enemies.
You can have it this time. No blocks. Turn. Create another Might. Alright, draw a card. Gain net 1 life. No land. Okay, let's go and play that land. Next. Sheldred's just gonna stay put. Pink, pink. Let's see. I guess we'll play another Phyrexian in the arena. Is he trying to go for a negate? Negate didn't hit. Plays another island. +1/+1 counter on your guy. Pass. Pass. No blocks. Pass. Not a Sunfall. Looks good. Let's see here. Full cost Gorger. Or the Haunted Ridge. Next. End turn. He's doing pretty good. I mean, he's lived past so many Sheldreds already. Yep. Pass. Pass. Block. Pass. Yes, farewell. Exile all creatures. Okay. You got yourself a lot of sweeper effects over there. Do you have a reaction to my blood token? Oh, hello. No, I have not. I actually do not play paper Magic anymore. If you're talking about Lord of the Rings boosters in Arena, then only the ones that have come with the Battle Pass. I'm not an Alchemy player, so I don't really have a whole lot of use for the Lord of the Rings packs. I mean, yes, they're available for Historic as well, but again, it's like don't really have a use for it. Because I typically just play Standard. I've been dipping my toes in Explorer a little bit, but not enough to warrant going out and buying Lord of the Rings packs. As far as the set in general, though, it's like it is absolutely a flavor win of a set. An absolute flavor win. Let's get rid of that. Let's go ahead and sacrifice or discard this Black Cleave Cliffs. Hopefully draw something better. It's better. That's definitely better. Okay. We're getting dangerously close to just losing. So let's see here. Let's go ahead and... oh gosh, Sulphur Springs. Let's play a Phyrexian Fleshgorger for full. And one of these boys. And we will get rid of the Chromhost Seed Shark. And my graveyard, we will get rid of one Sheldred. So we can steal a little bit of life from our opponent there. And we'll play one of those. Next, and no attacks, end the turn. Yes, yeah, I absolutely agree. Hey, I'm more than happy to have you here. The algorithm has actually started being kind to me and showing people my channel, so I'm glad to have anyone here who wants to spend the time with me. These, let's see, want to attack me with that, huh? We'll go and pass, and we'll just block with that. What was I talking about here? Oh yeah, but yeah, the algorithm has started being very good to me. Jesus, jumped up price, you and your... It's all good. Don't get mad. Alright. Okay, that's not good, because now we don't have anything we can play, except for this. So, kill off your guy. Next, end turn. I'm getting fed up with all of these sweepers, but it's okay. It's just a game. Pass. Make a Merrick's token. Yeah, I've bled through, I think, like 6 sweepers. This is just not okay with me. Okay. Fleshgorger. Land. Tenacious Underdog. Okay, we cannot play Tenacious Underdog for its bad boy cost. We have to play for its good boy cost. So, good boy cost. We play Flesh Gorger. But we still lose because we don't have a way to gain life back. So, as a result, we have to hit him with the GG. And we're out. Next game. That was a good game, though. That was a legit good game. Like, he lived through several Shieldreds, Flesh Gorgers, everything. And I lived through, like, 6 to 8 board sweeps. It was a good match. I'm not going to begrudge him. You're new to Magic Arena, and new to Magic, and Arena allows me to play and learn without looking at it. Yes, the sweeps are very annoying. But the sweeps are necessary for a control deck to exist, especially in formats where we have so many decks that are so creature heavy. Welcome to the game, by the way. It is a fantastic game. I've been playing since the 90s. I had to stop playing in paper after a long time. Just because my life changed and I had to focus my efforts on other things. But thankfully, Arena has given me an avenue to allow me to continue playing Magic without having to invest hundreds of dollars into paper product. So I'm very happy that Arena exists now. So we're keeping 2 lands. I probably should not have kept these 2 lands, but I kept it, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, this game is it's probably one of my favorite games ever. You know, like across all genres, from RPGs to strategy to card games, action games. It's always been one of those few games that always keeps me coming back. And so I'm very happy that I have an avenue to play it on not just PC but on mobile as well, because most of my day is spent out at work and out on the road. So thankfully, this being on mobile as well gives me an avenue to play my favorite game without sucking up too much of my time. Very true, games per hour would help with getting better comparatively. Yes, absolutely. Because back in the day when I played in person, on average, I would be able to get maybe 5 full matches of Magic a week, which was nothing compared to the sheer amount of games that you can play. Hey, chill, boys. It's just the dogs. Chill out, Spud. It's okay. Compared to the sheer amount of games that you can play on Arena. Because, like, I can play, like, up to 30 games of Arena versus just 5 games of, like, going down to your local game store and playing your local Friday Night Magic tournament. So it's a huge, huge boon. I'm very happy that card games have gone into the digital space. Yeah, if you have any questions on how best to get started with Arena or started in Magic in general, I may be able to answer those questions for you. Uh-oh. I think our opponent might not be here. So let's play as many cards as we can. This is, unfortunately, one of the downfalls of playing Arena, is sometimes your opponent will just straight up disconnect, or just like have to leave the game because something in real life just happened and they need to deal with it. And so sometimes games will turn into non-games, and this unfortunately might be one of those games. Yeah, if you did just hear all of that ruckus, that was my dogs. I was letting my dogs back in from being outside. Yeah, I think my opponent might have exited the game. Unfortunately, it happens. It knows it happens. Yeah, it is. And that is one of the things I've noticed about not just this game but other digital card games as well. Because I played Hearthstone in the past. I played Legends of Runeterra as well, and that is something that is just in all of these games. Period. Is they sometimes your opponent just has real life show up and they have to leave, and it creates a non-game, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. But even if my opponent's not here, I got my dogs here to give me some attention. So I noticed that when I look at packs on Arena, it seems like there are different kinds of packs, like Alchemy and Regular. Okay, so that is something I can actually speak to. Alchemy is a completely separate format. Alchemy gives you cards that are only legal in two formats, and that is Historic. Historic is a format that allows every card ever printed to be played. If it means it's just a digital card only, if it's paper, if it's any card ever released that is on Arena, you can play in Historic. And there's also, yeah, he's gone. So that's a free win for me. Alchemy is another format that, honestly, the majority of the player base really has abandoned. You can still get some games in Alchemy, but your time in queue is going to be a lot longer than if you just play in regular standard. Alchemy cards are cards that will either be modified for balance to like make cards better or make cards worse, depending on how powerful the cards are, and they'll be modified for digital only in Alchemy. And also there are other cards that have been printed only for Alchemy. So I would definitely recommend, if you have different packs that you want to buy, I would recommend focusing on the cards that can be used in every format. So those are going to be your standard packs, even like older packs that are in like Explorer and Historic and all the other formats. I would focus on those before focusing on Alchemy packs. The Lord of the Rings packs, let's see, let me take a quick look at what I have here. Yeah, I'll keep it, it's no big deal. Yeah, avoid Alchemy like the plague is pretty much the general consensus across most content creators. And the larger community. Okay, so let's see here. We're not going to play anything turn 1, so we're going to play the Haunted Rish first, because it's going to come and attack no matter what. But yeah, if you talk to any other content creator or any other player, they're going to tell you to avoid Alchemy, just because it has mechanics that are unique to Alchemy, and are generally kind of like mostly despised. And I hate to say it like that, but it is honestly the truth. It's like most people don't like Alchemy. Mostly because, one, the format is pushed very heavily by the developers, and for not very good reason. So if you wanted to focus on packs that are going to be widely used and you're going to get the most benefit out of long term, definitely stick to standard packs. And bear in mind that the Lord of the Rings packs are Alchemy packs. Those are packs that are not going to be legal in standard. They are only going to be legal in... Pardon me. They're going to be legal in Historic Brawl, and Alchemy only. So I would definitely avoid those. Alright, enter. So what are we playing against here? Black, red, and green. So we're playing some kind of junk. Oh, we're playing against a Reanimator deck. Okay, we need to finish this game as quickly as possible. Alright, he casts Brotherhood's End. That's fine. So he gets rid of both my guards. Pass. Okay, so he's not going to be likely casting a whole lot of cards that cut down is going to be good for. So let's get rid of that. And we'll draw a fresh card. And that's not what I wanted. But this is good, though. Let's go and play Children. But yeah, if you happen to take a look at my channel for the last like week or so, and going into this next week, as this is going to be recorded for my channel, is I'm doing what I'm calling a tour of the meta, and I'm basically playing all of like the top meta decks that are being played at the moment. Because I happen to have like a very large collection at the moment, because I've been playing for a while now. Discard that card. And so I have access to most all of the cards that are available at the moment. And so if you want to see what other decks are available in the meta to play, oh no, I think you might have won. It always comes down to these last few turns. But yeah, I'm making all the decks and focusing on piloting each of them to see which ones are like the most powerful, see which ones do very well, do very poorly, this and that and the other. And so far, it's been working out pretty well for me. Okay, so this is really bad for me. I don't think we can reach the other end of this game winning. So we're going to go ahead and cancel this game, and we're going to move on to the next one. Let's see here. Is there a certain color you think is the most effective? I would probably say avoid green the most in the current standard. Green is easily the weakest out of the 5 colors at the moment, with the exception of using it to ramp into basically what you just saw right there. There is a deck in the format called 4-color ramp, and it uses green to ramp up to cast your big beefy spells. If you want a deck that is going to be like good on a budget, like if you're just starting to play and you want something that's going to get you there quickly, this is what I would recommend. This is it's a single color deck. It's all red, and it's very low to the ground. Very few rares in the deck, so you could probably build this within maybe 2 or 3 weeks of playing. And so you just take a look at it. It's all 1-cost cards, a few 2-cost cards, and it's very, very fast. It is Kumano Face Kakazan, Monastery Swiftspear, Phoenix Chick, Play with Fire, Strangle, Shivan Devastator. Then you have Bloodthirsty Adversary, Felden, 4 copies of Lightning Strike. You got Furnace Punisher. You got 1 copy of Squee, a couple Chandras, and some Thundering Raiju. And then lands is just 20 Mountains and 2 Mishra's Foundry. So if you've been playing for like a little bit, you might have some of these cards already. But if you look at the rarity, most of these are commons and uncommons, with the exception of the Shivan Devastator, which is a mythic rare. Then you have 2 copies of Felden, which is a rare. And you have the 4 Bloodthirsty Adversary, which is a mythic. But this could probably be swapped out for something else. Because a lot of the time when you cast this card, you're not using it for its extra effect. You're just using it as like a 2/2 or a 3/3 haste attacker. So you might be able to replace it with something else. Furnace Punisher is really strong in the current meta because there's a lot of those decks that don't play a whole lot of basics. Squee, just a single copy of, only one rare wild card to craft, so that'd be an easy include. Chandra, pretty strong, and the Thundering Raiju, and the Mishra's Foundry. So not a whole lot of rares in this, and this is fairly budget, and will get you there pretty easily. And the games with this deck are really, really fast. So it's either you're going to either win or lose. This deck is like 5-minute games tops, easy. A lot of people use this deck specifically to climb the ladder with when they just want to get to Mythic and just stop playing for the month. It's like just really, really straightforward, really fast. It's gonna get you there. Hey, big guy, chill out. It's okay. You're okay. Okay. But yeah, that's a very straightforward deck, and I put out a video on this deck last week. You can find it on my channel if you're interested. Other than that, we have the Selesnya Enchantment deck, which I actually did a recording of earlier. This is going to be a video on Monday. But this one is another very low to the ground, very easy deck. It plays mostly 1, 2, and 3 cost cards. Let's take a look at the rares in here. So uncommon, 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 common. Okay, so there's 4 rares right there. That's an uncommon. I said 3 more, so that's 7. Let's see, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay, yeah, so this one is only 19 rare. So this one is about as budget as the other one. And this one is basically just all based off of enchantment synergies. You're not going to be playing anything that's like fast removal. You're going to be playing everything on your turn. But everything in this deck synergizes so hard because all the creatures are either gain bonuses from you playing enchantments or are enchantments themselves. So like this deck snowballs really hard, really fast. The mono red deck is a little bit better, a little bit faster, because it has that direct damage that they can, even if you get like board wiped several times, you can still win through just straight up direct damage. This one doesn't have that same level of reach, but it can still get you there if you want to try it out. And that's going to be a video on the channel on Monday. Aside from that, a lot of the other decks in the format are very, very mid-range and very control-heavy. But like those two are probably like the 2 biggest aggro decks, or like just play creatures and turn them sideways decks in the format. This is going to be like probably the 3rd one, and this one is a little bit more nuanced. This is called Soldiers, and it basically plays just like a bunch of like white weenie style cards that come out real fast, and they hit pretty hard once the snowball gets going, and the creatures themselves have sticking power. Like this guy right here, he's really strong on his own, because like when this guy attacks, he makes more soldiers for you, and you can tap 3 untapped soldiers you control to draw more cards and kind of keep the value train rolling a little bit. But this one I'm probably going to make a video for on Friday, so that'll be another thing you can look forward to a little bit later. But yeah, these 3 are probably the most straightforward decks to look out for in the meta. All the other decks that like you see here in this pile here are like more like mid-range, more control. Because like me personally, I'm a control player. I like playing control a lot. But the mid-range, I'm big on mid-range as well. Mid-range is honestly where I spend most of my time. Like, because a lot of the times the control decks take so long to finish out games that it's not really worth it to play control over and over and over for wins versus time spent. Mid-range is a little bit more of a safe bet, because while aggro, it gets you the games in fast and it gets you the wins fast, they're also very frail decks. So like even like the slightest amount of disruption can mean the difference between a win and a loss. Versus mid-range, you have access to better removal, you have access to better quality creatures, albeit your deck is going to be slower, you can still eke out more wins over time. So if that makes any sense to you. Yeah, strength in numbers. Yeah, Soldiers is absolutely strength in numbers. It snowballs. Enchantments is a deck that has the opportunity to go wide and also tall, if that makes any sense. So, anyways, that's basically like what kind of like the meta looks like at the moment. So let's go ahead and hop into another game real quick. I'm gonna get at least one more game in before we retire the deck for the night. Okay, Bono JP is our opponent for the day. We'll see what he's playing. So, we have 2 Feryx and Arenas, a Graveyard Trespasser, and a Sheoldred. So we don't have anything to play on turn 1 or turn 2. And our turn 3 is clogged up by 3 competing cards. So this doesn't look like the best hand, even though we have 3 lands to play with. So we're going to mulligan this away. Okay, so we got 3 lands again, but we have a better open. So we have 2 cards we can play on turn 2 and a removal spell. So we're going to keep this, and we're probably going to send the Phyrexian Arena back. Actually, we're going to keep this and send the Bloodtithe Harvester back, because we have 2 different cards that are competing for play on turn 2. I don't think so. Legendary lands you don't want to use first, because you can have the opportunity of drawing more of them later on. And if you draw multiples of those, it's going to be a dead card in your hand. The legendary lands that I like to play often are the channel lands from Kamigawa, simply because you can channel them for positive effects. And like, if you are playing like the Eiganjo, the white channel land, you can use that multiple times over the course of a game, strictly as removal. So there are several games that I've played of my like my white decks using Eiganjo, where I don't play a single Eiganjo all game. I just channel them. Oh, okay. We're playing against something interesting here. Is he going to attack? Lethal Demolition. Oh, wow. Okay, he's going hard. He's going to try to get in with as much damage as possible as early as possible. So this is very interesting. I've not seen anyone play with Gleeful Demolition before. This is interesting. Oh, it's a Convoke deck. Wow. This is cool. I like what I'm seeing here. Okay, then he's going to play the Skrelv. So we need to take this opportunity to kill off Knight Errant Eos right now. And I hate... What the hell am I seeing? Okay, let's play the Haunted Ridge. We need to cast Go for the Throw right now on Knight Errant of Eos, before he has a chance to untap his Skrelv and use it. We're also going to kill the Skrelv... Actually, the rest of his hand is all 1-drops. I could kill the Hyla Hopper or the Skrelv. I think the Skrelv is a little bit higher value for me, though. So we're going to kill the Skrelv right now. And we're going to keep this open for blocking, because that's a ridiculous hand. Anyways, most of the legendary lands in Standard right now are the channel lands, so you don't have to worry too much about having too many of them. Me personally, the lands that I tend to... Oh no. Oh no, he's so big. Oh, he's way too big. Alright, let's block that. Oh no, this all tapped out for Convoke. Let's block that. Jesus Christ. Okay, so that's Trample Ward, Convoke 2. I can't deal with that. This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life, and I'm absolutely here for it. We lose this game because I cannot stop that 16-16. Good game. Wow, okay, cool. Let's see here. What was I talking about? All the legendary lands in the format right now are like the channel lands, with the exception of Argoth. So the lands that you tend to want to play early are the lands that will end up either always coming into play tapped, or will come into play tapped if you play them later. So like there's cards like this one right here, this Blackcleave Cliffs. It says, Blackcleave Cliffs enters the battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or fewer other lands. So that means if you play this card as like your 4th land of the game, it's going to come into play tapped. So this is a card that I want to make sure that I play early, because in case I draw another one later on, I want to make sure that I don't flood my hand with multiple Blackcleave Cliffs, because they might end up coming into play tapped, and lands that come into play tapped are usually bad for you. Okay, so we have 2 cards we can play on turn 2 and 3 that we can play on turn 3. So we're basically hoping that we draw a 3rd land after turn 2. So let's see what we got here. So first turn would be good, because not even... Yes, yeah. If I'm playing a deck that is not playing a lot of turn 1 plays, and then a land that comes into play tapped will be a great card to play in your first turn. So let's use this as an example. So I have a cut down, but my opponent doesn't have any cards to play. So let's say, for example, if this card were to come into play tapped, that would be fine. Because I'm not playing anything this turn, but I do have multiple spells that I could play on turn 2. So if this card did happen to come into play tapped, it would not affect me in any way, because it will untap on my second turn and allow me to play either of these cards. But thankfully, Blackcleave Cliffs comes into play untapped, allowing me an opportunity to cut this down. And here's another tip, is Felden has this effect where if I deal damage to it, he gets to look at cards off the top of his library and potentially play more threats off the top. But if I use a spell that says destroy instead of dealing damage, he does not get that effect. So we'll use it right now. And so that removes the card, and I don't have to worry about it. Alright, next turn we're going to play Silver Springs, and we're going to play Blood Tithe Harvester. There we go. Yes, Blackcleave Cliffs can be tapped for either black or red. And there are not a lot of cards in this deck that require a lot of red. This deck is mostly black, as you can see by my hand right here. It's like we're looking at all black cards. And if you're playing a deck that is only like splashing for red, that's totally fine too. Because then you can play like only the lands that can tap for either color, and you're not going to be running into situations where you are not able to play your cards. Okay, we're going to swing him for 3 and see if he blocks. He's probably not going to, because he doesn't have a spell that you can cast to make his Monastery Swift Spear bigger. However, he is untapped this turn, though, so that could change. So let's see what happens. Invasion of Ragatha. Okay. Really good card. So that card's going to deal 4 to my face. And it also gives this creature +1/+1 because it has prowess. I'm going to block this so I don't take more damage than I have to. And it also removes this creature. Okay, so that's not good. We're going to go ahead and sacrifice that, discarding. We're going to discard the Shell Drip because we're not casting that anytime soon. It may be a powerful card, but I need to draw myself into lands as soon as possible. Okay, so he's got a situation where he's drawing too many lands, and my situation is I'm drawing too few lands. So we're kind of like seeing an issue here. Okay, so he's going to come over the 4/4. I'm going to take big damage this turn, but I do have a Go for the Throat that I can use next turn. Does he have a removal spell? He does have a removal spell, so I'm not going to be able to attack next turn. Okay, so we're going to have to do this right now. And the reason we're doing this right now is because he might have something to like pump his card next turn or add more +1/+1 counters or anything like that. Okay, he's got another one. Okay, but he's also out of cards now. So if I draw another land next turn, I have the opportunity to just completely blow him out. So let's see what happens. That's not good. Okay, so we have to play this. We are likely going to lose this game just because of we're not drawing lands. And unfortunately, that is one of the problems with this game, is when you get mana screwed, you just lose the game. Like there's really nothing you can do to come back from it. And if you can't draw the resources to play your spells, I mean, you're pretty much dead in the water. So let's see here. Even if I block any of these guys over here, I still take enough to die. But if I block this one over here, I only take 4. So let's see what happens. We're very likely still going to lose. Yep. So we didn't draw any of our lands, so we literally just lost this game because we couldn't play our spells. It's unfortunate, but it is what happens. Okay, so I don't want to end this run on a loss, especially such a drastic one, so I'm going to play one more game. Lunch Special. I've seen that name before. I wonder where. Oh well. So let's play against Lunch Special. Okay, so we got 3 lands, and we got 2 into 3 into 3 into 4. So we have stuff where we can play it, and we have the lands to play it, so we're gonna go for it. We're gonna play Swamp first. Yes. A lot of the times you want to determine your mulligans off of what you're going to do in the first 3 turns of the game. If I have action in the first 3 turns, I'm going to go with it. Even if it means that I might not have enough lands to get me all the way. Sometimes you just take that risk. Okay, so our opponent is playing on 2 Adakar Waste right now. So we're going to play Haunted Ridge. So if he taps either of these for colored mana, he's going to take damage in the process. So let's see what he does when I attack. He does nothing. So in that case, we're going to play Graveyard Trespasser and see how he reacts. So he... okay. Alright, then that's turn then. Let's see what he does with his turn. So he plays Soul Partition. And he's going to discard a card because this card has Ward on it. If you haven't seen the Ward effect, basically what it means is it has an extra cost if your opponent wants to target it with anything. So since he cast Soul Partition, targeting the Graveyard Trespasser, that Ward discard a card went into effect. So if he did not discard a card in addition to casting Soul Partition, the Ward effect would have cancelled whatever he was going to cast that with. So very, very solid card there. Let's go ahead and attack and see if he reacts at all. I like to attack before casting other cards against control players, because it kind of pigeonholes them into casting spells to deal with my attackers. Just like that. That's exactly right. Okay, so that goes away, and so now I am free to cast Liliana. And now we're going to start doing the +1 effect to get cards out of my opponent's hand. I will discard Sulphur Springs. Now, when I play against control players, you typically want to attack their hand, because they're going to spend a lot of their game holding back their cards and waiting for you to do things. And if you don't do things, they get the advantage. Let's see here. We are up to 5 now, so we're going to actually cast the Takanuma so we can play something this turn. And that thing this turn is going to be Graveyard Trespasser. Okay, I was hoping to goad something out of their hand, but it looks like they probably didn't have anything to cast. And you can typically see if your opponent is going to cast anything based off of how much time it takes for a spell to resolve. If there's a pause in your actions, it means that they have something that they could potentially cast to ruin your plan. But if something just goes straight through, then they likely don't have anything to do. So let's find out what happens when I cast this Liliana. Okay, so there is a pause. So that means my opponent might have something to cast. Okay, so he chose to draw cards. That's fine. I'm just going to make you discard cards now. I'll discard Black Blue Cliffs. Okay, he discards a bind as well. Okay, cast Farewell. He gets rid of all creatures and all graveyards. I will go ahead and +1, make you discard a card again. I'll discard my... Actually, I'll discard my Cut Down, because he might have an ability to get rid of my Liliana. I'm going to cast Sheldred right now. We'll see what you do. Okay, he has a pause before his draw phase, so that means he had an opportunity to cast something to get rid of my card. Alright. +1, discard a card.
Don't overthink things.
What do you discard? Syncopate, counterspell. That's what I thought. Okay, so we're gonna end the turn right there. Now, okay, so he doesn't have anything to play. So, but I happen to have this, the Mirex. The Mirex will generate creatures for me at the end of my opponent's turn if my opponent is not casting anything. So let's go ahead and +1 again. We'll discard our other Liliana.
Tired of your secrets.
Next, go ahead and all attack. He only has 4 cards in the graveyard, so I don't want to cast my Sheldred just yet. Because 1, he doesn't have any creatures on the board for me to get rid of. And 2, he doesn't have enough cards in his graveyard for me to activate the secondary effect on. So pass. I'll take my... Oh, okay. Yeah, so I pretty much took control of the game, so he didn't think that he had any way to get out of that. So, conceded. I can respect it. Okay, let's go ahead and do one more game and see where we go. And after this, I think we will call it a day on this deck. But yeah, a lot of your games will ride off of your opening hand and seeing what you have. So we have 3 lands, 2 of which are Haunted Ridges, which means these are not going to come into play untapped until I have at least 2 lands in play. So if I play either of these in the first turn, they're going to come into play tapped. But I don't have anything that I need to cast in the first 2 turns, so I'm kind of okay with it. So we'll keep 7. Looks like our opponent mulliganed 1 card away. Okay, so we'll take our first turn playing Haunted Ridge. Okay, cool. So we have something we play on the second turn. So we'll play the Tenacious Underdog. Okay, teamed it up. Oh, interesting. So we might be up against a zombie-style deck. But we happen to have fun stuff to play on our third turn, which is Liliana. So we're going to make our opponent sacrifice a creature, which gives us the opportunity to attack in. Okay, our opponent plays Shakedown Heavy. Let's see here. So here's going to be a fun thing that we're doing here. So we're going to do actually +1. Each player discards a card. I'm going to discard Cut Down. But now we're going to play a second Liliana, which is going to, and now because we have 2 legendaries on the table of the same name, we have to choose one to stay, and the other one has to go away. So we're going to choose this one that we just played, so that we can then activate her ability to make our opponent sacrifice a creature. So that goes away, and allows us to attack him with impunity. Okay, so we have a Sheldred now. Yeah, we lose 2. But we can now make our opponent discard a card. We will discard Sulphurous Springs.
We all have things we'd rather avoid.
And then we will play Graveyard Trespasser. Getting rid of the Shakedown Heavy. Oh no, I saw Natali there. I should have got rid of Natali. My bad. Okay. No attacks. This could be bad if they happen to draw their reanimate spell right now. But they did not. It's okay. Okay, so he's going to attack in. I have to block because I don't want to lose my Liliana. Okay, resolve. Let's see here. I'm going to do this. I'm going to cast Sokinzon's channel effect. It's going to give me 2 creatures. And now we're going to use +1 to make my opponent discard a card. Since I don't have any cards in hand, I don't have to worry about that. I'm also not going to attack, because I need blockers for that Sheldred. Yeah, so he's going to attack in. I'm going to block with 1. Now that's going to give me the opportunity to make my opponent sacrifice a creature. Because now we're up to 3 loyalty counters.
Off
Right?
you go.
And now we're going to cast Children and attack. That Sokanzon came in very clutch. Okay, cool. So we're gonna... Oh! Alright, and we took control of the game, and our opponent decided he didn't want to play anymore. Alright, cool. So I think that is a good stopping point for this deck. So let's go ahead and we will go to the post-game wrap and talk about the deck in more detail. Hi, Tundra. How you doing, buddy? Okay, so let's take a look at it. So, looking at this deck in more detail, we can tell where the strengths and the faults lie in this deck. So we have 4 cut down, we have 4 go for the throat. So our removal package is decent. I probably would maybe want to bring the Sheoldred's Edict up another point, just because I would like to be able to draw it more often. So maybe go -1 on the cut down, +1 on the Sheoldred's Edict. Tenacious Underdog and 4 Bloodtithe Harvesters, I might do probably like a 3 and 3 split on those, just because that ability to bring Tenacious Underdog back from the graveyard on the Blitz cost can sometimes win you the game. Being able to attack a Planeswalker like immediately is very strong. Past that, Graveyard Trespasser, good. Liliana, very good. The Phyrexian Arena is strong, but it really is really dependent on you having either your Sheoldred or a Phyrexian Fleshgorger on the table to make sure that you don't kill yourself with it. Brotherhood's End, I'm a big fan of Brotherhood's End. Really solid in this deck. If there was any reason to play red in this deck, it'd probably be for the Brotherhood's End. The Bloodtithe Harvester, while is a good card, has lost a lot of its oomph because of the banning of Fable the Mirror Breaker. Sheoldred, 4 copies of, very solid. Cannot recommend this more. If I could play a 5th copy, I would. 2 more Sheoldred, good. Vraska, I actually did not play Vraska a single time, but if I had, she probably would have done some very good business for me. And then Phyrexian Fleshgorger is always a solid card. So, based off of the games that we played and our win-loss rate with the deck, I personally would probably go with mono black over this version of the deck, just because it is a little bit more stable and a little more streamlined. Having 2 copies of Brotherhood's End in the deck is nice, but it does happen to act as a non-bow with your opening hand. Because it kills Tenacious Underdog, it kills Bloodtithe Harvester, it kills Liliana, it kills Graveyard Trespasser. This is going to be a card that you're going to want to play if you're like really behind in the first opening turns. So I would definitely recommend this if you are finding that you are coming up against a lot of aggro decks in the meta. Against other mid-range decks, it's probably not going to be the play for you. So, yeah, my final rating for this deck is mono black is probably better. That's pretty much it. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on the deck. I had some fun games with it. Feel free to tell me how you feel about the deck in the comments. I'd be more than happy to hear from you. And until next time, you take care of yourselves. Later. You're doing good. Don't you worry. Oh. Let's see here. Looks like my application is glitching out a little bit. Yeah, okay. So give me just a moment.